think let's start now. So let's begin our workshop. But so yeah, let's start. So both of you know the what is the blockchain, right? Hello.
Yes, sir, little bit.
Okay. So the blockchain is
Yes,
a, yeah, blockchain. If you have any questions, ask in between. Okay.
okay,
Correct.
sir.
So blockchain is a distributed database or a ledger. So basically, you know what is a ledger, right?
No, sir, we know database, yes, sir.
So the ledger is like the entry. The bank has a ledger where the people could actually add an entry. So the transaction, entire transaction will be in the ledger. So that is called a ledger. And blockchain is a distributed ledger, which means that there is not a centralized space of the ledger. For example, a database is a centralized stuff, right? Like in our own server we are having a database. For example, in our case this is MySQL, so it's a centralized database. So imagine that the same copy of the database is existing in multiple system. For example, the exact same copy of Eduladder MySQL database is existing in other system as well. Maybe your own friend system or any other system. So this is called a distributed database or a distributed ledger. That is correct, right? Like you understood.
Yes, sir, yes.
So this is called a blockchain. So why it is called as a blockchain means each transaction in, for example, you have a distributed copy of the particular database in your system or the blockchain system in your own computer. So somebody entered a transaction. This transaction has to be validated because it's distributed across different machines or server. So this particular thing has to be validated. So to validate this, once this transaction is validated, this will be known as a block. So that particular block will be copied across the multiple system which has a copy of this particular blockchain. So this is called a blockchain. So basically it is nothing but a distributed distributed ledger or a distributed database. Any question on this?
No, sir.
Clear? Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the see, this is what we have actually discussed now. Like a transaction is being done and the transaction is being copied in a different system which has, for example, this one has the copy of that particular ledger, and the same thing this computer also has the copy of the same ledger, and this computer also has the copy of the same ledger. So once the block, once one and a transaction is being completed in this particular system and that is being validated on all the nodes which is connected to this particular system, then it is known as a block. Then that block is that is kind of a chain kind of structure. So that is why it is known as a blockchain. So this is how the blockchain works. Okay, any question on this? Hello?
So,
Hello?
no, sir.
Okay. So there is which language is used to build a blockchain? That you can use any language to build a blockchain. PHP, Node.js, Haskell, C++, whatever, whichever language which you are comfortable with, you can use a language to any language to build the blockchain. So the problem with using any language is the security. If that language is easily hackable, or people can actually easily change anything in that particular system, then what happens, we can actually manipulate the blockchain. So when we are using it for a financial transaction, if somebody is able to manipulate that particular thing in a blockchain, then what happens is that the entire transaction which will go invalid. Or also there is spamming of the blocks also can be happen. For example, if you are putting a block which is actually a spammy block, that is actually misleading the entire system into somewhere, then what happens, the spamming of the block will happen, because this block will be get copied in all other nodes of this particular network. So a block which actually spam the entire network. So we have to consider the security of that particular language while we are building a blockchain. So some languages, like for example the Solidity, which user the Ethereum is built on Solidity. So it's a JavaScript kind of language. Whatever the thing which JavaScript was not able to give, that problems is being solved by the help of the Solidity. So with the Solidity we can easily write smart contract in the Ethereum blockchain. Similar way, the Facebook has made a particular language called hack. The PHP, the entire core base of the Facebook is written on PHP. So the hack is developed because the PHP can't solve many problems which actually existing in that particular network. So they built and developed a new language called hack, and that will be used to solve many problems which PHP is not able to solve. So any language can be used to build any blockchain. You can build your own blockchain using any language which you are comfortable with. So the Haskell is a functional lazy programming language. Means we have to define each functions. For example, in the case of PHP, what we have to write, we can write a high level structure in the top of the programming language. But in the case of Haskell, it is like very Haskell is not a low level language. It's a high level language only. But we have to define each and everything in the Haskell. And the JavaScript is when we are started to build the applications using the JavaScript, for example Node.js and stuffs like that, there is problem arise. The types is actually not defined in the JavaScript, so TypeScript is being introduced. The similar way, the Haskell, everything we have to define what the function has to do, what is the languages, what is the expression meant to, and what is the expression has to do, all those stuff. So Haskell is mostly used in research oriented projects and academics and stuffs like that. So this is the an overview of the Haskell language. It's a lazy programming language in which we have to define each and everything what is happening in the Haskell. So the fiat currency and the cryptocurrency. Fiat means the normal currency like 10 rupees note, 50 rupees note, or 100 rupees note. This is the fiat currency. So the blockchain, the cryptocurrencies differ from the fiat currency in a way. The fiat currency is being printed by a centralized authority like a government or an institution. They build a centralized currency which can be distributed and used by other peoples in the system. I mean, for India is a system in which government print a currency called rupees. So whoever is in the system can use that particular currency, but there is an intermediate, like for example there is a RBI, Reserve Bank of India, which prints the particular currency, and all the transactions we have to tell to the Reserve Bank, and Reserve Bank can actually track what is happening. So and in the case of the cryptocurrency, there is no a middleman, like it's a blocks in a blockchain. So each block, like you are having a wallet which is attached to a block, and the transaction, I mean the currencies in this particular blockchain come and sit in your wallet. For example, Ladder is our token that will be in your wallet, which is in the Cardano blockchain. Like we can use Nami wallet or Yoroi wallet or whatever the wallet which we needed to store that particular currency. And that currency doesn't go through a Reserve Bank or a centralized authority. That particularly owned by you. I mean, you have your own currency. Understood? Any question on this? Hello? Hello? Anybody has any question on this? Hello? Okay. So the history of the Bitcoin is being founded in 2010s, and it's probably a person or a group of people who has actually introduced the cryptocurrency, the concept of the cryptocurrency and the blockchain. So the around 5 years back, also the research was going on in the direction of the blockchain. So cryptographical method is like, like if you want to say for example, you want to say 111 to another person, like your friend, you want to send a message like 111. So you can send it to 10101001, then 1, like that. So these zeros in between these ones actually define actually for example, if a person X try to read this particular message, he will read 10101001, but the friend has a key, the friend has a private key, your friend will be having a private key that will actually decrypt this particular message 10101001 into the way 1111. So this friend has a private key. In your wallet you have a private key, right, like a key pass. So this is a private key. He can actually solve this particular cryptic message into the 1111. So he can actually able to see what it is actually there in that particular message. So this process is known as a cryptography process. So the blockchains are changing the world. It is actually secure, and surveillance, like for example, the higher authorities will not be able to track, or an attacker will not be able to track actually how much money you are having, what kind of things you are doing in online. And due diligence also, like in US based like everything in the people who are doing in the US actually is been tracked by a secondary agency like FBI or something, to understand what they are doing. So the due diligence can be done correctly in the case of blockchain. And once you enter the data in the blockchain, that cannot be edited or deleted. So that will be actually giving you a security which that cannot be done by anybody. And you can actually save like there is domains like .eth domains will be there. Like for example, we have Eduladder .eth. So what happens in this particular domain, people are sending currency, or people can't change anything in this particular domain. That is very secure. so they can't edit, they can't change. For example, if you're having a domain name which is running in the server, so people could actually edit and change your address or your database and stuffs like that. But once you are in the blockchain, nobody will be able to edit this particular domain. So these are the things which we have covered here. Any questions on this? Hello, Suraj,
No, sir.
Akshay, you understood everything?
Yes.
Huh?